yourself.
All right, did you do the dishes?
I did.
Did you vacuum?
I did.
You're not going to blow your nose at the table anymore?
No, I won't.
Okay, you drive.
All right, let's go.
And don't embarrass me by yelling yippee when we get there.
Okay.
Sarah's Kebab Shop. Treat yourself to a menu that includes a wide range of food options from beef or chicken kebabs to one of the tastiest burgers in town. Hot and cold subs and Greensboro's best gyros. Sarah's Kebab Shop. Dine in, take out, or delivery. Located at 5553 West Market Street in Greensboro, right beside the DMV. And call them at 336-355-9260. Sarah's Kebab Shop. Reward yourself. Yippee! Man, please.
Oh, yes. Man, please. I say it all the time. Man, please. And that's what you're listening to, the Man Please Show. I'm your host, Trog, and I'm here with the Man Please Show roving reporter, Renee Trogdon. Welcome. Hello.
Hi.
She's so soft-spoken. You know, that's why I love how she does interviews. She actually has an interview coming up with who? Who did you interview?
Reverend Melvin T.
Reverend Melvin T. Johnson. I'm sure some of you remember Reverend Melvin. Some of you may not, but he's a friend of the Man Please Show. So we're going to be putting that out there soon. Like I said, next Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be doing the two relationship shows. Monday, going to be talking to the men, so I encourage you guys to listen. You know, it's good information, and you know, listen to it. If you don't believe in it and don't think it's good, then discard it. But maybe it may make a difference in your relationship. That's the whole purpose of it. And Wednesday, we'll talk to the ladies on how to respond to your men and tell you a few secrets about men that you may not know. But we're going to be doing that Monday and Tuesday of next week. So I look forward to that, and I hope you guys tune in for those shows. I'm still blown away, not by this snow event, because it's really not much of an event, but Boston has like 7 feet of snow, or some astronomical amount they've gotten in the last 3 weeks. It's the most snow that they've got in the month of February in the history of Boston since they've been taking records, and that's a lot of snow. And so you know, they're really on high alert. You know what I mean? We used to have family that lived there. We did. Not too long ago. I'm so glad they're not there. Actually, Alicia, who had twins, she was actually on the show a few weeks back. She was still fragrant. Now she's no longer fragrant. Pregnant. I mean, what did I say? Fragrant? She has twin boys. I won't say their name because I don't know. She might not want their name spread all over the world, because this broadcast goes throughout the world. Throughout the land. Everybody on the planet can listen to this show. Isn't that amazing? You know, we're starting off with about 5 or 6, but we're going to build on that. You know, it's a foundation. But, you know, it cracked me up. I know you were working today, but I was working too, working on my tan. I couldn't think of nothing else. But I was watching television, and the governor came on television live to talk about the snow event. And I'm like, really? I mean, if I was from Boston and I came down here, if I was down here on vacation, man, I'd think I was in Florida. And then the governor come on and talk about this lame snow event that we're having. It is pretty lame, isn't it?
Well, so far.
So far. I know, so far. I'm calling it early. I'm like one of those voting polls. I call it early, But I guess if it does continue to sleet, that's a lot worse than the snow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some reason the Gulf, not the Gulf, but the Atlantic is pumping in, or some warm air is coming in aloft, and so the snow is falling. This is what sleet is. This is a little bit of trivia for you. The snow falls, and then it goes through that little band of warm air, and it turns into water, and then it comes back. It goes through that, melts, comes back into cold air, and refreezes, and that's called sleet. And you know what the difference between sleet and freezing rain is?
No.
I'm about to share. Okay, sleet falls as snow, thaws, and then refreezes before it hits the ground. That's sleet. Freezing rain starts as snow, it thaws into rain and falls all the way to the ground, then freezing.
Oh, so it actually hits the ground before it freezes.
Right. It freezes once because it falls through the warm air, it thaws out, and it doesn't have time to refreeze before it hits the ground. It hits the ground and refreezes. That's freezing rain. And sleet actually refreezes before it hits the ground. That's the only difference.
So we're having sleet.
We're
and
having sleet.
freezing rain.
Well, yeah, that's what they're calling for, sleet and freezing rain. So, I think all we're getting, because if it was freezing rain, it would be falling as rain on you, and then it would. So was it pellets?
Right now, nothing but sleet.
Sleet.
I saw.
Yeah. So it's sleeting. So it's about 6:21, but it's supposed to do it all night. Who knows? It's 19 degrees. I don't see how anything can thaw, but it's crazy how this atmospheric weather and clouds, and you can have cold air, warm air, cold air, and it's craziness. I don't know. But it was when it was falling in snow, it was pretty.
So what was our governor saying?
Oh, he was telling us, all the things you need to do if you get stranded, what you need to keep in your vehicle, and he was telling what the state has done, to prepare. I gotta stop saying, to prepare for this event. They didn't put down any brine, and a lot of people were like, why not? Keep it from freezing on the roads. Well, I didn't know this, but apparently brine freezes. I thought it was supposed to melt ice, but it can freeze, and at these temperatures, it freezes, and it freezes up the machines, and so they can't even spread it. It's really kind of weird.
So to prepare, all we have are the scrapers?
Yep, that's it. No, nothing was put down on the streets because it wouldn't work. They used to just spread salt by itself. I don't know.
I saw one salt truck
Really?
between here and work.
Yeah, they're probably doing. They're not going to do any of the side roads. I guarantee you. I don't guarantee you. I can't guarantee anything. Hey, look. What do you think? I don't know. I've heard. So, you see young people on a lot of these reality shows. And I hear them. I hear a lot of young people say things like, to use as an excuse, first of all, for some dumb, reckless behavior, like the way they drive, or the way they go out and party, or the way they go out and do a lot of things that are ill-advised. And they give the excuse, well, I'm young. That's why, and what really bugged me, I was watching a Dr. Phil episode, and there was this young girl, she's 23 years old, and she was she would not call herself a prostitute because she claims that she didn't offer sex. But what she was a sugar baby. she was on this website that solicited older, rich men to date her for money or for gifts, or, you know, and she swears that in her profile there's no sex. Okay, you know, even if there isn't, I buy that. But isn't it still prostitution? Isn't she still selling herself?
I think so.
Yeah, and so that's the point that Dr. Phil, who sometimes I agree with, sometimes I don't agree with, he was trying to make that point to her, and she gave him the excuse, well, I'm young. I'm going to do these things while I'm young. And I guess I understand, because I remember being young, and I didn't think that far ahead. But as an older person, you know, when I was younger, I didn't really have any person that really took an interest in me. So I wasn't getting good advice. So I was kind of making it up as I went. But a lot of these people have really good parents. And I'm not saying I had bad parents, don't get me wrong. I love my parents. But, you know, they were more interested in themselves, as a lot of parents are, as I was most of my parenthood when I was younger. But what was I talking about? Oh, a lot of these people, these young people that are using the excuse, I'm young, have people in their lives that are giving them good advice, but they're rejecting it. And so, you know, we always hear about these teenagers that were killed in a crash, and most of the time it's either alcohol, speeding, because I don't know what it is. There's something about speed and youth that, you know, that the younger they are, the faster they got to go. It's some sense of immortality or something, or, you know, is that it? Or
I think that's part of it, but I think it's like everything else. We just don't like being accountable for our actions, and we look for justification to make life easier, sweeter from that respect.
Yeah, I know. I get that. Why don't young people, when they see a person, for example, if I go to one of my daughters and I go to her in a serious, thoughtful way as a parent and advise her against something, why do they reject that a lot of times? Instead of, well, because they're young, right? You know, I think they're right. I'm young, which means they're probably dumb. Have you ever heard? You've heard that saying, young and dumb. And I think that's what they are. They just forget the other part of the saying. I'm young. They need to include the I'm dumb part. Don't you think?
Yep.
I'm young and dumb. And then I would say, okay, well, at least you understand. That explains it. You understand that you're young, but you're dumb. But as somebody who's experienced a lot of things I, would rather have not experienced, I love sharing those things with people to help them avoid those things. And I think if when I was a younger man, if I had have been spoken to by somebody that I respected and trusted, I would have followed him, because I did that as an adult. Somebody, for the first time in my life, took a personal interest in me, and I stuck to him and took his advice. I was smart enough to absorb the stuff that made sense to me, and the stuff that didn't make sense or just seemed kind of wrong, I pushed it aside. But I wasn't afraid to receive the information, and I applied it. And it made a big difference in my life. And young people, seek out somebody, find somebody that is interested in you. And if they're older and they have